Does this work? Thank you for being here, and thank you to those whose efforts made today possible. As Donnie mentioned, my name is Sanaa, and I'm a sophomore student at the University of Illinois, and as well as a member of the Muslim Students Association on campus. As someone who has not spoken in a setting like this before, hateful speech is why I and many of us are here today speaking before you. As President Obama said, the strongest weapon against hateful speech is not repression, it's more speech. Born and raised in Peoria, Illinois, I grew up with the notion that while the faith I practice may be unique, I had more in common with my neighbors than I did differences. In 2008, I had the opportunity to see President Obama speak in Springfield, and suddenly, to me, politics became this mechanism for hope, change, and endless possibility. If someone with the name Barack Hussein Obama could be elected our president, then surely our country was moving forward. On election night, though, and as we saw yesterday, my dream, and many of our dreams, of a Madam President came to a close. Why was this? Was it because voter turnout was miscalculated, the nomination process was flawed, or third parties influenced the results? I believe it's because falsehood overshadowed the truth. And as a nation, we let it happen. As one of 3.3 million Muslim Americans living in the United States, this election became intensely personal, and personal in an unfortunate sense. The Muslim American was turned into a caricature. Hateful rhetoric and media-driven myths have fed into the epidemic that is Islamophobia. It was and is still devastating to see extremism and talk of mistrust and danger from fellow Americans speaking on a religion they clearly don't know and talking about a people they've clearly never taken the time to actually get to know. If they took the time, then they'd know that Muslim and non-Muslim parents alike hope for a better future for their children, for a safe home, and for access to rights like healthcare. They'd know that Muslim and non-Muslim students alike hope for good grades, good friends, and a good career when they graduate. As Americans, we all have the same aspirations. There is no our dream or their dream. It's the American dream. There is no other. When we let this otherization of a people happen, whether it's by accepting hateful speech or tolerance of hateful crimes, we come dangerously close to repeating some of this nation's darkest times in history. We can't change our history, but we can change our future. When your whole identity is diminished to simply one facet of who you are, whether it's your religion, your race, your sexual orientation, or your gender, it compels one to stay strong and go the extra mile in proving themselves. Though there are those who would like us to believe otherwise, it's not that which others use to define you, but that what you do which defines your character. But it isn't easy in the face of adversity. But now more than ever is the time for Muslims, for minorities, and for Americans to speak up, to have open and honest dialogues, to call out what is wrong and to disprove what is false. Now is the time to register to vote, to run for office, to expand your social circles, to learn about the issues and to ask questions, to be an active and engaging citizen no matter how big or small your role, and to recognize and promote the efforts that are already being made by so many people like many of us here today. This effort, though, isn't just about today or the next week when passions are still high and Facebook feeds are still active. It's not about the next 4 years or even about the next 8 years. It's about having a continuous effort to move forward so that our nation and our society will be one of continuous progress towards equality and respect for all. I have faith that our actions today and our actions to come can and will make truth triumph over falsehood. Thank you for your time, and thank you for having me here today.